All right, just a few little details at the end. If you did not color in the eyelids lightly or kind of a medium gray, make sure you do that. Then we're going to take this eye and color it a really light gray. Okay, super light gray. Don't scribble in it. Just color it a light gray, as light as you can go. Almost wish we were doing this in color. We'd make that like a light blue or something. Or yellow. That would really stand out. Nothing too fancy. We're just trying to make it so it's not white on the iris. That's the colored part of your eye. And I can't remember, I don't think I recorded on the video, but I just put a few little hair strands on there. Just add that. And then we're going to put a few whisker tracks and a few whiskers on him, and he'll be done. Does anybody need more time coloring in the eye before I move on to the whiskers? Okay. All right, whisker tracks we're going to keep simple. I'm going to do them much like they were on the example, I think. So I'm going to come right here, put a little circle right here, just make it a dot, and come over here, make a little dot, put a little one down here. Now come over here and do the same thing. We don't need 2,000 of these, we just need a few of them. And then down here on the bottom of his chin, I'm going to just put some little lines, random lines, not too many. And I want some going past the edge. And these are just a few whiskers down on the bottom of his jaw here. Okay. They're very short, and we don't need 2,000 of those either. Just a few to make it look like, oh, he hasn't shaved in a day or two. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to color this main part of his head in. It's about as light a gray as we can get and make it smooth and even. It's okay if it gets a little bit darker than your colored part of your eye, but we don't want it to be super dark, okay? I'm using the side of my pencil to do this. What this does is it grays everything down, and it also makes the white of the eye stand out a lot better. Notice I turn my paper as I go, so I'm kind of following the shape of the head. There's going to be a little tricky part where we have to end this. I'll show you that in just a second. I'm just getting this part colored in to begin with, and then I'll show you where we're going to end this coloring on the front of the face here. Okay, so I got that top part. Then I'm going to come down the muzzle, top of his muzzle, both sides. And I'm going to let it just fade out as I get down between the nostrils. I don't really want a hard edge there. I don't want to like draw a line across here. I'm just going to just let the coloring just sort of fade out and end. And we're going to leave the front of his face, this part, light. Oops. And then I'm going to color the outer part of his ear the same color as I did the face, but not the inner part of his ear. Again, I'm just going to let it fade out where this line ends. My paper's hopping around on me. I'm trying to chase it around on the desk. Okay, and then that's basically all the coloring we need to do is to fill in those areas right there on that guy, just like that. I'll give you just a second to get that done because I know it's going to take some longer than others. The next one that we're going to do, I don't know if they copied it from an image they saw on their search or if they made it up or it's a combination of making it up and copying it a little bit. They can tell me later, but it's well drawn and it's what we're going to do. So, and I like it. So for our last one, we're going to do this little puppy dog. One little puppy dog. So that's what I'm going to do. You guys ever seen that little short video where that little girl says, I want a little puppy dog, little puppy dog. Can I pet the puppy dog? And it's a bear. I want to pet the puppy dog. Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos. It makes me laugh every time I see it. No, don't pet that dog. All right, we're going to go ahead and get rolling on this one so we can get it done and maybe get you guys some free draw time. First thing we're going to do is put the nose on it. It's a triangle shape, but it does not have pointy corners. So I'm going to come down from the top, leave a little space, and draw that little frowny face to start with. Hey, come on, it's on video. A little quieter. All right, draw the little frowny face right here, and then instead of a sharp corner, we're going to round it off. We're going to come around this way. And then round off the bottom and come back up and round off that corner. So it's like a piece of pizza without sharp corners. And we're going to draw the little shiny spot that we want on it. And that'll be easy because we're going to just come down below this line and draw a parallel line like that. And another little parallel line below that one. It's very close to it. Put that down there so you can see it better. And then just round off the end to connect the parallel line. Kind of looks like a little hot dog laying on there, but that's the part we're going to leave white later on. I'm going to turn my drawing sideways because I need to draw a backwards 3, or I can turn it this way and be a frontwards 3. Let's just do that. It'll be a frontwards 3. It'll be easier for you. I'm going to put a little point right down here that I know I don't want to go below this because I need some room below the little muzzle I'm going to draw. But this is fairly large. It's going to curl around. Curl back up right here at my little point, which is right in line with the middle of the nose. And I'm going to come around this way, curl around. So I got a number 3 right there. That's what I'm trying to draw. So that when I turn it this way, I have a muzzle. Okay. Now, if you're good enough that you can just go like this, and a lot of times I can, that's fine too. But if it's easier for you to just turn it and pretend like you're drawing a 3, that's whatever works. Just want it a little bit bigger. I'm going to put a little line above my nose. It's just kind of a little bump on the muzzle. So just about halfway between here and here, just a little curved line like that, a little bump on his muzzle. We'll come back and finish the mouth and a few things here in a minute. We're going to move on to the eyes and ears, and then we'll come back to this. Does anybody need another second before I move on? Right, don't see any hands. Okay, for the eyes, just a big upside down U, or you can always turn it this way and draw a regular U, whichever works for you. We're going to make these fairly large. So I'm going to come over here towards the edge, make a big one. Now this should be familiar to a lot of you because I've seen a lot of people draw dogs like this over the years, just when they're doodling on their papers and stuff. And that's fine because it's effective. Looks good. Now we could change that right now, and I could put a little buck tooth on that and change that into a rabbit, but we're going to make it a dog. I could put a couple of things on it, some pointy ears, and make it a cat. Okay. I could put some fuzzy hair all around it and make it a hamster. It could be all kinds of different things. Then we're going to put a fairly large circle right in the middle. Put another one over here. Some big old eyes. Okay, eyelid on this guy. Little tag end. We're going to curve it kind of like a little frowny face. Little tag end on each side coming out from the edge. Okay. And with this one, we're going to do the shine a little bit different. We're going to put a tiny one on this one up in the right hand area, just a little bitty one right there, a little bitty one right there. When we come in and color that black, it will have just a little bit different expression as opposed to a larger one like that, or a larger one like that, or a really big one like that. Just changing things up a little bit. Now here's where some of you are going to fall off the edge of the cliff, and we're going to try to make it so it's not too painful. Okay. Our ear, we're going to start one right here. I'm just going to put a light little diagonal line that's kind of right above the middle of the eye. Just a little light line going that way. And above this middle, a little one going that way. Like two little antennas. We're just trying to break it into easier parts to do this. Two little antennas on there, and I'm going to change that into the next one. Okay, here goes. Hopefully you're paying attention. I'm going to come out from the side of my face, this part of the face. I'm going to make a round line that comes up and comes back and connects. This is what the ear is going to look like. So I'm going to come around here, come up here, round it off, and come back to my line. So you have an idea what's going to happen. So here we go, up, slightly above it, so that you can come back down to it, round it off, and bring it right back down. Okay. I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll round it off to start with and just go the opposite way. I turn my paper. So that I have ears that are relatively close to the same size. They need to go out a little wider at the bottom, narrower at the top. Hopefully you got that, and hopefully we didn't wipe out too many people with that. But sometimes I see these and they go out and they come way in, they go way out. One will be about this wide and the other one will be about this wide. Just trying to keep them around the same size. And then right here will be the base of the ear where it kind of folds over. So I'm going to just put a little curved line that goes just like that and stops. A little curved line goes just like that and stops. That's like the ears are flipped back, okay? Now it's time for just a few little details. We're going to put a little tuft of hair on the top of the head. This part, I don't know why this kills off some people, but we're going to try to make it painless as possible. I'm going to make a bird flying above his head. So here's the line for his head. I'm going to have this little bird with his wings way out, like that, flying above his head. Now those wings aren't up, okay, they're way out, like he's got his wings really stretched out. I'm going to come back underneath it, and then I'm going to make another one that does the same thing but stays kind of right on the top of his head. Come this way, come this way, and come this way. Okay, so now I have two letter M's reflecting from each other. If I put it like that, see the letter M and then its reflection right there? That's all it is. Or you could say it's a couple of W's. Just depends on which way you want to look at it. And right here at the end, I'm going to put a little one comes out here and a little one comes out here. And I'm just going to connect the two up. But if you got this thing really tall, piled on top of his head, and it's higher than the top of his ears, you're too far from the top of his head when you do it. Okay? If it gets out and it's touching the sides of the ears, that just means you got a lot of hair on his head. Hopefully that didn't kill anybody off. All right, some whisker tracks. Put a little circle right here. I'll put a little circle right here. A little circle right here. Right here. And let's color in his eyelids. Kind of a medium light. Just like we did on the hippo. And I'm going to color in that little tuft of hair up here so it contrasts with the rest. And I'm always using the side of my pencil so I can get a wider, more even coloring, less of a point. Now we're going to wear out our pencils a little bit. So we got to make this eye black, so I'm going to go around the shiny part first so I don't accidentally color it in. And go around my outer edge. So I have a nice clean edge on my coloring. And you know the routine, just fill it in after that. And by the way, when it comes to this and getting these darks right and smooth and even, you guys are doing it better than most kids, so I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good and dark now. That's what we need. Okay, got the two eyes filled in. Do the same with the nose. Go around that little hot dog shaped highlight. When you're done with that coloring, you should have something that looks a little bit like that. And we're going to add one more thing to it. So I'm just going to give you another second color, and then we're going to do the one last addition. All right, so we're going to draw a little tongue on him so he looks like a friendly little dog. Come down here, we put like a little U shape, and I like to make it so it's just a little bit crooked and not perfectly straight up and down. And then I'll come and put my little curve line right off of there. Now it looks like a little dog that you want to pet. And probably won't bite as hard as a bear. Okay, I'm going to stop the video now because we're going to come back and we're going to finish this penguin and we're going to color him in. I don't think you need to watch a video to see how to color it in because it's the same as we color everything in. But I will have the image posted on Canvas, you know, so you can just see what was left black and what was left white.